Hi everyone, this PowerPoint is on challenges in community corrections by Imani, Miguel, and Eric. So the question is what are community corrections? Community corrections are when the model of the corrections are based on the assumption that reintegrating the convicted individual into the community should be the goal of the criminal justice system. Next, we have a community correction sentence, which are alternatives for people convicted of nonviolent crimes. Both probation and parole supervise people who are serving portions of their sentence in the community. People on probation are usually less deeply involved in criminal lifestyles, while people on parole face serious problems in reentering the community after long incarceration. Next, there are other types of community corrections, which are day reporting centers, which are when offenders report each day to file a daily schedule with the supervising officer. For treatment programs and mental health services, they are provided counseling and drug treatment and impose strict curfews on residents when they are not working. Work release centers are facilities that allow residents to work in the community during the day while residing in the center during non-working hours. What is the goal of community corrections? The main goals are to prevent future criminal behavior through surveillance, rehabilitation, and community reintegrating, also to reduce the rate and number of people sentenced to state correctional facilities. Reduce tax revenues spent on corrections by transferring both the cost and the funding to less expensive local correctional facilities, and to reduce prison population. Next very important topic is going to be probation, which is the idea that instead of imprisonment, a person is allowed to serve a sentence while living in the community under supervision, proving a willingness to abide by its laws. It can be seen as an alternative, in other words. Some challenges in probation can be an example of when people are released back to society after certain programs and aren't followed up by means of their supervisors, which could lead to them resorting back to criminal activity. Studies have found that the reduction in criminality had little to do with life circumstances, but instead appeared to be a general effect of the probation sentence. Another challenge of probation officers is having the training to know how to care and handle people with mental illnesses. Among probation officers, this is a largely unstudied topic that has led to ineffectiveness in the training and rehabilitate those individuals. Another example can be seen for individuals who are held in halfway houses. They are low-risk offenders. They are also not getting the full support and help they need to be able to be released back into the community, which can make the process as a whole ineffective. Now on to parole. Parole is the condition release of individual from incarceration under supervision after part of the prison sentence has been served. Problems with parole can be in the form of post-incarceration. Supervision contributes to crime and increase the size of prison population. Also, the felony criminal history renders many parolees hard to employ and ineligible for a range of social service programs. Other problems can be seen as to make them unable to have or work certain jobs. And also, the cost of being on parole can cause issues that make it even harder for the parolees. One huge challenge seen with parole is parolees not being able to see their probation officer, which can heavily render the success of not having the right amount of support needed. Challenges for probationers and paroles are a huge topic of residents in neighborhoods not wanting the released offenders in their area. So it can be seen as a growing problem for offenders and the parole officers due to the community's safety. Now let's move to New York's broken parole board. Here we have John McKenzie that killed an officer during a burglary and was convicted of 25 years to life. While he was in prison, he obtained a degree in business administration, counseled inmates, and established a program. At his last hearing, he commented he was high on drugs during the death of the officer, but takes full responsibility. At every hearing, he's denied parole. The parole board is seen as broken because there never once considered parole for McKenzie, which is ignoring the state law. He served his time for what he did, and he has shown immense progress since then, so the question is, why isn't he being considered for parole? Another challenge is the barrier for women in the workforce. There's a biased opinion that men have more of a relationship or understanding of crime because it is typical of them to do it. It's seen that the process for women to be picked as a mentor, officer, judge, or even legislator is way more difficult than for males. Lastly, for offenders, it's a common issue to deal with health problems, more than that of the general population. Because of that lack of health care, offenders often don't seek help. They need more attention and resources, which should be a main mission for the community of corrections. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed our look on challenges in the community of corrections.